Alright, I guess I might as well start. I am started. I have started. I've been working on Tolbrin technically for the last 20 minutes or so. But I have not been in the route. Well, I haven't done anything in the route. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. Um, Now that I've done a speed run on the thing, the intro, I'll show you what the hell I'm actually doing, which is uh, downloading stuff. Hey, Master Badger. I saw your comment. I'm not gonna... Oh, low poly versions. Uh, I'm not gonna necessarily go out of my way to be like, yes, I am streaming. If I am, you'll know. I try to stream more or less at the same time. I'm late to everything these days, including these streams. But, I'm working on it. Hello, Badger, hello, Katie, hello, Bender, hello, Dylan. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to get some new houses and stuff because I feel like yes, YouTube should tell you. Um, I've run out of houses that I like. Oh, you know what? I need to do, uh, obsolete false, which will help a lot. What the hell is that supposed to be? Alright, I'm not messing with those. These row houses are neat. Kind of want to mess with those. But not yet. I can't do anything with those yet. Warehouse kit. Oh, Arbuckle Coffee Warehouse. Yeah, no, Godspeed with the headlight, Tyler. You should wrap that up before, I need you for other things. Actually, I don't think we will have Royales back for at least another couple of weeks. The least of which being I haven't planned any of them yet. But the most important thing, there was a reason why that I was thinking of. I mean, I feel like we've got to get through the Big E first. And, yeah, some other stuff. So, don't worry, you're off the hook right now. The Megapod. It's a good one. Bayshore Powerhouse. Ooh, this is neat. I like this. Downloading this. This is not what I came here for. I don't want any of the low poly things. Am I still down? No, everything already downloaded. Downloaded immediately. Build a house workshop. I'm not spending that much time on houses. I'm pretty sure that's Tyler's plan. Brick house. These are nice. These are much nicer. Let's get these brick houses and that ice house, I guess. Are these just chimneys? Yeah, I'm not doing that. Cityscape house. Oh, Cityscape spline houses. That's interesting. I feel like I should just download all of these. There are 150 of them. That'll take a minute. Maybe. Vestiniag project. Live with it forever in the VR headset. More GG1s are in museums, but there are still a ton of AEM7s that are just hanging out. Sorry, Cookie, it's a Cook Mogul, built by the Cook Locomotive Works, thus the nickname. Semi-detached house. No. Townhouse. Oh. That counts as a townhouse, apparently. Oh, these are really interesting, these CUK things. I'm gonna download this. Yeah, stored. I don't know if I have a cookie downloaded, otherwise I would show you on stream what the heck I'm talking about. Actually, no, Tyler doesn't have a... I don't know if Tyler has a picture of it. If you want to throw a picture of a cookie, I can show it on stream, Tyler. But that's up to you. I'm not going to go poking through the Discord while I'm on stream. Just building townhouse. NJT is some AEN 7s now. Um, there were a bunch of them in Davisville, down in Quonset. Last time I was by there on a train. DS House. No, I really want smaller stuff. I want smaller stuff. I want, like, not stuff like this. I need Lower Silesian House, Czech House. These are Eastern European, the EET stuff. Hey, TJ. Um, 4800 is at Red Museum, Pennsylvania, right? That's a neat one. Send builder's photo. I don't want to open our DMs on stream either. But whatever. It's unimportant, I suppose. But I appreciate the effort. We've got all that secret stuff in our DMs. Okay, maybe there isn't any secret stuff in our DMs, but you know, planning for the royales that I just told the world. Townhouse 50s. Oh, these are like, okay, no, we're not doing that. General Warehouse. If I knew which one I wanted, I would download it. Generic Powerhouse by Shortline. Generic Ore House. I mean, those are nice. Just not what I need right now. Oh, now we're getting to House, which is probably immense. It's an immense mixed bag, I have very little doubt. Colonial Row Small City House. Is that recommendations for me to look up? Because I will. Oh, I've seen some of these. Oh, these are slightly nicer versions of some houses that I have. Yeah, these are actually kind of nice. I should be selectively downloading the ones that I see, but these 2014 houses. Yeah, these are nicer than the ones that I have, but they are the same styles. I might download some of these. Just because. More under construction houses, which I have one or two of. Suburban house. Oops. I mean, that's suburban somewhere. It's not what I think of when I think of suburban. Although it is technically suburban. These row houses would be great, but they're not what I need right now. I do want to download them, but I don't need them right now. That's not a house. What about the Czech house? Oh, these are cute. Download all the Czech houses. Slovak house. Should download the Polish and Slovak houses too. They wouldn't look too far out of place in the boonies. Oops. What is this? Ooh, this is cool. Download this. It looked better before its cosmetic restoration. It's not a house, it's a home. Yeah, I guess to somebody. Section house with a no thumbnail. Lackawanna Freight House. I mean, I'll download this anyway. It's not what I need. Ooh, look at all these lighthouses. Gimme. Download. I don't know. Oh, those are Mars. Mars, right. It says Mars on it, so they're from Mars. That would make sense. I hope everyone's having a good Thursday. You never quite get the hang of Thursdays. Like I said, I feel like I'm late to everything these days. It's been a while since I've started one of these on time because I usually go, oh, it's just about 7, let me get started, and then I sit down to the computer and try to do 6 different things before I actually start. But, funeral house into a funeral home. Yeah, see, these aren't loading the thumbnails because I'm trying to download stuff. Oh, crap, I've found something that is... It's all the lighthouses. I can't download all the lighthouses. They're too big. Okay, I guess... Well, these are nice, I guess. I downloaded town halls, police stations, and fire stations before we get started here. Alright, I think I'm done downloading stuff because this needs to wrap itself up. Which I think it's stuck because it's doing the countdown thing. Oh, nope. Got a new guy at work? How is it going? Does he seem promising? Lighthouse Boston with auxiliary light foghorn seasonal. Now that's what I'm talking about. Also, I sat up and I am now too high in the picture. It's gonna chop my head off. Right, now we gotta wait. We were blazing through these downloads, and I got a little too overzealous because I wanted some lighthouses, and now I'm gonna have to come back and do more later because I'm not gonna try to pile downloads on top of these downloads, and now we've just gotta wait. So, what should I do in the meantime? Let's see, what have I got? I mean, I've got open TTD. We could do, play that. Where's, I thought it should have been the games folder open, although half of the stuff does not work. Oh, and I just got the Be Real thing. Let's do that. We're turning this into a vlog, guys. If you guys are here for Trainz, I'm sorry. All you're gonna get to look at is, I don't know, something else. Hold on, let me do the thing. I've only got 2 minutes. My Thursday is going good. Looking forward to this weekend, mainly since we'll be going on a rail fanning trip with the boys. That's cool. Bankman. Bankman, hey, wake up. He's not waking up. He's a sleepy cat. I'm gonna get a Be Real of a puddle of cat. Check to see if everything's running smoothly. If I open the route while I'm downloading things, I will crash the game. That's my problem. That's why I had to, block this out. I wanted to do it before we got started. I didn't get to do it before we got started. Yeah, no, I can't open the route. I put myself and the route in danger if I were to do that. Unfortunately. Also, yeah, half these links are broken because I never delete anything. But, yeah, I don't even know what'll work and what won't. I mean, Skies of War and Rails of War will work. Those games from, what was it, like a couple months ago, we were getting the bootleg of them. Yeah, nothing here works anymore. Everything's just in Steam. No, you don't need to apologize. It's not a thing with Trainz specifically. It is exclusively a thing with me. I don't know anyone else who has this problem. So, Rare Taking 3. I need to find the disc. It's around here somewhere. Just do this while oh, that's great. That's just effing great. Who doesn't like Tetris? Oh, shucks. I forgot how to... Oh, I forgot how to turn it. Oh, it's like this. Uh-oh. This is not going well. This is not Tetris. That's the name of it. It's called Not Tetris. It's Tetris for if you hate yourself. Which, this game reminds me of Tetris. Well, it should remind you of Tetris, but it is called Not Tetris. Listen, physics-based Tetris. It was a market that needed to happen. It's like a mini game Toby Fox would make for one of his games. Yeah, no, it's awful. I hate this. I haven't played in forever, actually. I haven't played on, this computer, which is why I have no high scores. I get to, 7,000. I was in a competition with Weibold to get a high score in this once upon a time when we first discovered this and realized that it was terrible and cursed. This game is disorienting. Yeah, no, this is awful. It's awful. It's the thing you don't expect. I'm glad you guys came here to watch me play Trainz, and we're doing this instead. This might be one of the only games in that list that actually will just work right off the bat. You know what would be great if I put on locomotion right now? Except no, it's fallen over. I just had to have my damn lighthouses. This is what we're doing now. Yeah, no, it does. I don't even know if you can download this anywhere anymore. I'm sure you could find it if you really went looking on the internet. The best thing is when it turns into like just like a pile of little bits. Do Open Loco. Yeah, I'm not sure how OBS will handle that or Trainz. I'm not one to experiment with games that can be finicky while I'm playing another game that is already finicky. Oh shucks, I was really hoping that would clear a line. I need to be paying attention to what's coming next. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do with this. Found it? You found it? You found it online? Oh god. Listen, we'll do this. If anyone wants to also play this, you can try to beat whatever high score I get today. Which probably will not be all that high. The logic is if the lines are filled enough, it removes them. Need your opinion, should I make a torus line with 3713 or PRR 4483, which that's the I1, right? I feel like unless you're going long distances, you're better off with the I1. Because at least then you can haul all the tourists ever. But yeah, the 3713 is going to want to go fast, and the I1 is definitely not going to want to go fast. In fact, it will be very upset if it is fast. We've got 25 lighthouses down. That's how close. It's either going to be, you know, whatever comes first, either I die or, death is coming. Either I die or the lighthouses get finished downloading. And that's what will end this. And I think death is on the way. Oh! Oh, I love it when that happens. You can just force it down a little bit, and sometimes, okay, that was the worst thing that could have happened. No! No! You said you were going to clear a line! It said it was going to clear a line! Okay, there goes 3. Oh, I got worried. I thought it was it. I thought that was it. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. No, no, no. Eh. I was just trying to... No! 1863. I think I got to like 7,000 once. Obviously, I'm Ellis. Okay. So, that's set. We've done that. Cross that off the bucket list. What else can we freaking do? Let's see. What disc is in... It is Railroad Tycoon, but I think that's a full-screen game, which will upset things. So, I'm not going to try to play Railroad Tycoon or Locomotion. I apologize. How far along are we? 27 out of 40. We're getting close. I don't know if most of these things work. Yes, I know. This is Surveyor 2.0. Trainz 2006. Trainz 2006. I'm not doing Trainz 2006. Oh yeah, open TTD. Hold on. Hold on. I'm making up a rule set because I have a plan. We have a poll going on, speaking of not trolling through the Discord server, but we have a poll going on for what the next location for an open TTD server is going to be. Right now it looks like it's going to be the Great Lakes area, which is very non-specific. But I'm not going to be in that server because I'm going to be doing my own thing where I'm like streaming. Open Loco is windowed. Or actually, I don't trust Open Loco. That's how the Living Railroad works. I don't understand how the Living Railroad works at all. I'm frankly kind of afraid of it. How does the... I don't know. It's like my... Shucks, get a little bit smaller so I can see the thing. What the hell was I saying? Yeah, I don't know about the Living Railroad. Let's see. Load game. Extreme mode. Nope. Where is it? Where's my... Put this somewhere I can see it. So I was making a couple of rules because I'm going to be playing Extreme and streaming it while the next server is going on. And this is my current extreme world. There's industries, etc. The fart. I mean, you can lock this if you want so that it'll stay off when you toggle everything, which is cool. You can also just make them straight up invisible instead of, you know, whatever. But my rules thus far are, and I'm not necessarily living by them in this world yet, but I will be next time around because I have made some changes. The rules are, I mean, where'd I put them? Rules that matter. Oh, shucks, I didn't save. Oh wait, no, I did save. I did. It was just these five. All vehicles must be in named groups and have scheduled service. All pieces of the same station must be connected by at least road. All rivers and roads must remain contiguous. All generated rivers and roads must remain contiguous. First priority is always satisfying goals and subsidies and fulfilling them as quickly as possible. And the goals have all goals satisfied automatically by the end of 2050. So, goals are here. This is the one that I'm missing right now, but I have it set up to make a thing happen. Which is, let's see. I didn't notice these oil wells just in the woods. And then I found them. I'm not producing enough, though, so I need to either bring this more oil from somewhere else, or I need to bring in hydrogen to boost the production. The other thing is I'm not taking out any of the tar or sulfur, which would be good to do. But yeah, extreme. Things are crazy expensive. Mostly the things that are expensive are building of track, earthworks, bridges, tunnels. That's kind of it. I didn't mess with much else. I was just trying to make it hard to let things spiral out of control, which, incidentally, I have $100 million and it's 871. But, you know, I've tried really hard to make this hard, and it hasn't necessarily worked out. So we really just have this to do at this point in time by following my rules here. But I need to find hydrogen. Also, is this done? Nope. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. That's right. It's 33 out of 40. I couldn't see the green bar, so I couldn't see it. Hydrogen. Display chain. Hydrogen. I mean, I think I am OP. But hydrogen comes from chloralkali plants and coal liquefaction plants. There are a total of 6 of those on the map at this time. The map is not very small, so 3 of them are over here, which is totally bogus. I am serving this? Barely? Oh, yeah. Okay, right. I was trying to get that to come up in production, but even then, to get it to over here, it's rough. This is the Axis set, which stands for another extreme industry set, because it's another extreme industry set, except it's way out of hand compared to the previous ones, and it's based on FIRS 4. Like, I think, all told, I think I prefer XIS to Axis, but the difference is the Axis is based on FIRS 4, whereas XIS is based on FIRS 3, so Axis has some quality of life changes, and also, more importantly, it has, also more importantly, can I think straight for a second? It has, it's been updated recently, right? I don't need that. So either I need to bring coal here, which is up the goddamn mountain, and we can get coal from over here, but I am using that coal. Currently this is cranking it, so, you know. Okay, why are there 1,000 tons of coke here? Because the coal train's bringing coke back. Alright, that needs to stop. You need to stop bringing coke back to here, because it's not being fed to the right place. Originally, I had the alumina trains picking up alumina and coke so that they could bring it to here, because this demands coke. It did demand coke. I need to get it more coke. It probably needs its own train, but we only have 2 platforms here. We're on 40 out of 40 though, so this is a problem I'm going to solve another day. I just have to take... Actually, I don't think I'll come back to this world. Because I got to do the other thing, starting in a couple days, which will be a brand new world. But 999 tons of coke, probably more than I should have here. I should maybe have a... I don't know. I need like a relief valve for the system. Because I have my trains picking up... Here, 280, 1187. Is it 010 OT? Because that thing's really old. Is that the one that's in the museum? Not the museum, but in like Indiana or something? Yeah, the museum. That one. That thing is old as heck. But yeah, see, it's bringing home coke, which I need it not to do, because the coke needs to go somewhere else. Have it be. Like the drug?
Yeah.
Why do you have that?
I don't. Lafayette. Come on. Come here.
Yeah, Madison, Klein moment. Yeah, my guess was A. My guess is A. My guess is A.
Come on.
Also, this is at 40 out of 40. Are you done yet?
Come on.
Come on, you can finish this up. I know you can. I think we're gonna call it good. What happens if I just close this out? Okay, it said it was done. There you go. Alright, well, this is a system that I kind of broke. My goody goober, well, the 010 is neat anyway. I'm not saving because I didn't do anything. It's C. Oh, it's 1187. Neat. Alright, well, I already lost half my viewers trying to do the, doing OpenTDD at random. I am, but I was downloading stuff, so I didn't want to mess with Trainz while I was downloading stuff. But now I can go into Trainz. It's funny because I don't even feel like working on the town. What I feel like is maybe doing some more fields and stuff. That thing went flying.
I'm just giving them a quick trip because I know that's gonna take us now.
Well, the cat found it. He's eating it.
No. What's that? Why does it smell?
Alright. Yeah, beautiful town of Pan Am. I'm just so confused as to why OpenTDD was up. Okay, so, Pat, when we started, I was just downloading things, and I got a little overzealous, and I downloaded a pack of 40 lighthouses, which took longer than I would have hoped to download. So, there we go. What is it, Bender? Alright, I do think I'm going to start filling in these here. Eli's. I'm now Eli's. Let's see. Let's draw a ruler out from here to the forest in a straight line. Yes, baby. What should we get for him? Yeah, that might be. Oh, Christmas is coming. Getting gifts for Lafayette that I know he will hate. Should've been here. Yeah, no, Pat, you missed Tetris. That was something special. I'm sure I'll do that again someday. But if anyone can beat 1600 in not Tetris, which should be very beatable because I did not get that far, let me know and I will try to beat you. I'm supposed to play chess with East after this. I'm wondering if I should just roll that into the stream. I know East and I had a, well, East and I was not really privy to it. East wanted to take over a coffee shop and make it a chess thing, briefly. But, you know, that we're not allowed to have fun.
No.
So,
Stop.
yeah, you missed Tetris. But, yeah, I was downloading Lighthouses, and it took a while, and I didn't want to mess with the game anymore while I was downloading Lighthouses. So I went into OpenTTD. And yeah, the industry set is out of control. It's kind of insane, and I like it a lot because of that. It has enough industries so that the map is full of industries, but it's not full of potential connections, and you really need to think. You need to be judicious about what you're building, and combined with the difficulty of building stuff that's Evan the please I'm sorry. Hey Evan, what's up? It has been a while. I don't think they can see you trying to clip the dog's nails back there. Uh, he looks like he's being held hostage.
I'm trying to clip his nails.
Oh man. I wish I had something to munch on. I ate as many as I could of my incredibly mediocre Hint of Lime chips. Uh, and they were mediocre not because they were Hint of Lime. I love Hint of Lime chips. They were just kind of crappy chips. I suggest you shouldn't get the ALP-46 in the DLS because it's not an ALP-46. It's just a reskin of that really old AEM-7 model. Damn. People try, you know. But don't worry, I don't think I'll be needing that for Tolbrand anyway. It's a little bit young for what I'm doing here. Willing to get some electric locomotives though. Not that, but something. I mean, I think there are DD1s on the DLS, which I do want to make use of. And there are, I guess, the Milwaukee Road stuff, but that's more mainline electrics that I don't need. GG1s are, again, sort of in the same category where I just don't need mainline stuff like that. I don't need things that are that fast and powerful. I need little things. And that is, a far future problem for when we reach Gilson City and we start working on the new Shoreham tramway. There may be a couple of electrified lines for the other major roads. I think I talked about this before, but I didn't write anything down. DLSDD ones are very delayed as in very slidey. Well, maybe somebody with a knack can try to fix that. P5 would be not bad. That would be a good middle ground. But yeah, the Nishoram tramway is just going to be like an overgrown into urban. I won't need anything really hardcore for that. I won't need anything too big, you know. And yeah, I don't really know about other mainline electric operations aside from, what I was talking about previously, which was the tunnel up on the VMR. No, not the VMR, the NST. The tunnel up on the Nishoram. No, tunnel up on the Zion and Skyline. There we go. I've got my own railroads mixed up. Which I think would be Alduin Pass. It's going to have electric locomotives to shove the trains through. So nice generic box cap on the DLS. All right, that I will have to keep in mind. That's in my wheelhouse. Oh, good. No? Yes. Wait, do I have a little logo up here? Oh, then it is on backwards. No wonder why it's felt weird all day. I used to always put... it used to be a recurring problem for me to have my shirts on backwards. I see, I didn't get the chance to write about death and destruction while building that tunnel, when I was doing the lore for the Everett Lake Mining and Navigation Company, which I totally should have done, because that's a missed opportunity now. I kind of want to go along the edge here with dirt, because it looks kind of silly to have the trees and forest just give way. But let's see how it looks from here. Literally can't tell. All right, I might not do that. I might do it over here.
Stop. Stop.
I like how quickly you can go from telling him he's a good boy to, like, you're getting out of hand. All right, this area.
One more turn. I got one more paw to do. I got one more paw.
This area, I think,
One more.
I'm wondering if it will go forested, but it should be small enough to put a field in. I just need to establish what the new sort of grid of fields is with regard to our highway here. What? Yeah, oh well. Abandoned streetcar line with cannery, but mostly torn up tracks on a streetcar abandoned there. You could also put in, if you wanted to, you could put in like invisible tracks on the road and use trolley buses underneath the trolley wire. It would have to look different, but you know. All right, yeah. I need to establish a new grid here because part of me wants to go, because I've got three options. I've got Cardinal, I've got the road here or the road here, and this would probably be the original. Yeah. This would probably be the original, but that means it would be aligned with this road here and not this one. Okay. Okay, East coming in hot. Chicago elevated style coach with streetcar service.
Are you hungry?
I am a little hungry, yeah. I'm getting there.
Alright, well,
Actually, I'm fairly hungry because for lunch I had the rest of the chips, which were honestly, like I said, very disappointing. And I probably will not get that brand again.
yes.
Nails.
Majority of them.
Nice nails. Is this? No, it's not making a difference.
I give him a dentist stick.
He's a good boy.
There's one thing I'm just not going to give him a good look.
Okay, we'll get that next month.
Also, maybe tonight, we can do this thing
Um,
maybe tomorrow.
I don't know. We might want to wait until next week. Because. Oh, yeah, I guess tomorrow is fine. I was thinking I wasn't gonna be like able to keep an eye on him, or one of us wasn't gonna be able to.
I got work tomorrow.
I know, but at least I'll be here, and we don't have anything else to worry about. Key system is a good comparison. Sorry, I'm just discussing life stuff now during the show. Hope you guys enjoy this window on my world.
Sorry.
The poor dog. Well, everyone loves Lafayette, so.
The dog needed his nails clipped, not the poor dog.
I mean, he is the poor dog.
My poor legs, okay?
What's wrong with your legs?
From him scratching them
Oh,
with his talons.
skill issue. If you want to have a long and happy life, don't tell your lover skill issue. Sounds like that person wasn't in the room where it happens. Okay, East. East, are you just reliving the Hamilton like fanaticism? What has instigated this? Why are we back here? I'm not complaining, but I'm curious. And now you've got Gloria doing it.
Hey, hey, hey!
Did he find one of them?
He did. He did.
Mmm.
You're gross.
Me?
Dog.
Oh. What about me?
Looking at me from the crate.
I need to get the banks on this river to be a little better, so I'm going to use the plateau tool on a relatively low sensitivity, just focused on the center of the river itself to bring down the banks. Unfortunately, it is also widening the river, which is not really what I want. Um,
So we're right there now. You all can at least take the boat.
I don't know. Whatever you find is wise. Like I'm not about to die. I would like something to put to eat, but you know, if you want to wait until after I'm done, then I suppose that's fine. Or until later so that I can eat and not be streaming.
I mean, I'm pretty hungry.
You're pretty hungry? Okay, well then don't let me hold you up. Um, Either way, I'm not going to complain whether there's food or there's not food. The plateau tool is honestly goat. I used to underrate it, and I think at some point during the development of Trainz, they changed it so that it hi, I love you.
I love you.
Wasn't so instantaneous, so that when you use the plateau tool, it wouldn't just snap to uh, a certain level. I think it used to do that. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I remember. Um, believe in that sentence, it would be goated. Yes, I was just not saying goated. But I don't know. I don't need to use all the hip lingo. But I do think at some point they, if I remember right, they changed how the plateau tool worked, which took it from something which was useful to something which was an S tier tool, uh, which was goaded. Also, I understand that English is a living language and things get adapted and changed, but goated as a word does not make a lot of sense because goat is an acronym. So you're saying greatest of all timed? Uh, I don't know. It's a little bit awkward if you ask me. But you could already say something is goat or something is the goat, which would make more syntactic sense. But I understand. Uh, let's see. Alright, yeah, we're gonna do this side of the river. And yeah, I'm gonna put square fields on that side. But I think the fields are probably gonna get bigger. I know a lot of the fields out west can be, what, a mile by a mile? They're these square plots that you can see from space. Um, or something like that. I'm thinking of where I was, where I saw, like, J and 7/10 Road, which I think was near Mac in Colorado. Yeah, how big are these plots? Ish, because they're not perfectly square. They're a lot of them are rectangular. I think they've been, sort of merged over time, but this is okay. Yeah, it's 1,300 feet by 1,300 feet. These square plots. So that's about a quarter mile by a quarter mile. Brick to PP. Yeah. Speaking of which, speaking of PP, has anyone seen those like incredibly bizarre ads for the little like plush cow-looking thing with the song about wanting to eat the peanuts and PPPP? because that's bizarre. I've seen it far too many times. Uh, Typical field runs about 60 to 120 acres. That's helpful. I think we did the math on that before, and it led me to the same answer. Uh, I'm just gonna try to move to square fields instead of these elongated rectangular ones that I've been dealing with or been working with. We're gonna go the full square fields, farm roads. We're getting there. Like this is half of this is like a starter of it, and this is this is more free form as you get closer to the coast, and this is as you just get out to dead flat land. And this area is going to be all quarter-mile grid, except for this. I mean, yeah, to if we're talking about, I know it's an aside now, but Steamtown, yeah, no, Steamtown was cool. I mean, I still like Steamtown. I just feel bad for the situation they're in. They're not really able to raise funds on their own, so they're kind of stuck. I don't know. I don't think it should be privatized, but I think it needs to be paid more attention to. I don't know. I have mixed feelings there. Uh, it's almost like you need a ludicrous amount of money funneled into these projects to no end to make them work. For example, Age of Steam and the original Steamtown. It's no secret that it went downhill because the legacy of F. Nelson Blount did not care for Steam as much as he did. I don't know. It's rough to be in that position. I am hopeful that someday they will rise from the ashes, but someday. It's not going to be any day soon. When we just start forking money at the national parks, you know. In fairness, a lot of the things in the Steamtown collection are not worse off than a lot of things in other collections, in parks. Um, at least they have, like, I don't know, ostensibly they are to be cared for, and there is a mechanism for caring for them, they just don't have the money and manpower. Whereas some things are more legitimately left to rot. I mean, I don't want to be mean to the Eagle Lake engines because it's not like they have a better alternative, but they are just left in the woods and sitting there. They have a volunteer group that keeps track of them and has kept them from tipping over, but they don't have, one of them doesn't have a cab. The shed around them burned down. Like, there are worse situations to be in than being a part of the Steamtown collection. There are definitely better situations to be in. But I don't know. It's a tough spot. I want to be supportive of Steamtown is my bottom line. And I kind of, you know, you have to ask the question of, was turning it over to the National Park Service uh, really a bad thing for it, and would it have been in a worse situation had it not been for that? But that's, of course, in the conversation of privatization versus not, which is something I sort of jumped to. I know we're just sort of lamenting over Steamtown. But if you're going to have a discussion, you're going to have a discussion, I guess. I always was, I have been recently been going back and thinking about Iron Horseman the Motion Picture, or the Iron Horseman the Motion Picture, which was supposed to be the follow-up movie to the Chronicles, and the state of various preservation things, including Steamtown, which had a far more interesting history uh, in Horseman lore than in real life. But it starts the same way. And I wanted to tie something else to that, and one of the people that I never got to introduce during the course of the series, because we didn't get there, would have happened in season 3, is a guy by the name of Mint Chadwick, who becomes the manager of the 2-foot gauge. Now, the 2-foot gauge uh, is a survivor of the Iron Horseman Railroad, but then again, so is the railroad itself. But the 3-foot gauge passes away, and the 2-foot gauge remains as a tourist attraction because it's what the people want. And you would have been left with Mint running the show, but I wanted to tie something into the Blount plane crash fatality. And so I wrote that Blount was not alone. He, in fact, had Mint with him, and they were negotiating about the survival of various locomotives, including 2-foot stuff. It's possible that you would have had some sort of cross operation, sharing of parts and services and people and locomotives, even perhaps between Edaville and the Iron Horseman 2-foot, had they not gone down to the plane crash. In 9 and 2816. I didn't know about 2816, I don't think. Or wait, maybe, yeah, no, wait, no, I knew that. Because they traded it. They traded 2816. Isn't that right? I mean, that's how things typically get in and out with regard to these museums. Things don't typically just go. There's usually some sort of trade involved. If not, it's a gazillion dollars, and then engines end up doing restorations for 1,000,000 years. When would the 3-foot have met its end is a good question. We had a few different ideas, but it would have been a slow decline over the course of the series. They probably would have been definitively gone by the 60s. American Pie Iron Horseman Edition. Oh, hey, Wolfman. Yeah, I mean, sort of. That took me a second. I was like, the movie? No, wait, the song. That's right. My first ever boss growing up, the first job I had was at the Roger Williams Park Carousel. And I've said that out loud. Thankfully, it's none of my security questions. That's a joke. The first boss that I had was obsessed with Buddy Holly. So I heard plenty of stuff about that. And so now whenever I hear that song, I think about that first job that I had. Very funny story is I worked there at the carousel. In the gift shop, I sort of moonlighted as a moonlighted as a ride operator, which I wasn't supposed to be allowed to do. But I was an assistant in that regard. I was like 14, 15. And I also worked in the cafe eventually. Now, the cafe, before I started working there, had suffered from a fire. And the building was basically, it had to be gutted. It was a small, like, enclosed gazebo-type building. There was no indoor seating or anything. It was just a little gazebo-looking building in which you could prepare food, in which we prepared food. With an outdoor seating area. And so the story goes, Gloria once paid a visit to the park and ended up with a crush on the kid who worked the stand there, and that kid was me. And we wouldn't know each other for years. I don't know if Gloria's making that up to pump up my ego, which is a possibility, but yeah, I was in the cafe for a couple of summers. So I mean, it's a reasonable possibility the timeline lined up. And obviously, I wasn't like interrogating them and being like, what year was it? What year was it? I need to know that you're being serious with me. I need to know that we were a Craigslist misconnection TM. back in, I don't know, what year would this have been? 2016? Alright, this is 251. So now I need to do, let's go from about here. So I just started drawing thing. So 251, I hope so too. They should get it down to WMSR or something. 341. Yeah, it's 90 degrees. I'm not a big advocate of Western Maryland, but they did do the thing with 1361, so maybe they can do it with 3713. Maybe they can get together and do something. But again, I feel like Steamtown's position as a national park sort of inhibits some of the other fundraising measures. I mean, admission is free, for God's sake. Which is very cool, but, you know, sort of presents fundraising issues. I wonder if it was making a dent in the fundraising anyway, and even if the fundraising from admission to Steamtown directly benefited Steamtown, or if it just went into like a large national parks pool that then gets disseminated out. I'm not saying that vast swaths of untamed wilderness don't cost a lot to keep. Lafayette, what are you doing? Don't cost a lot to keep an eye on, but oh, they did 50 out of 50. Oh, that's very cool. Oh yeah, that's right, they did do that. I remember hearing about that. I don't know why that had escaped me. The 1361 thing is more recent, but I feel like Steamtown could use more of I suppose what I'm trying to say is, yes, that it could use more money, but what I'm really trying to get at is the ceiling for the amount of money that Steamtown could use is probably much higher than the ceiling for the amount of money that a more natural park could make use of. Like, Steamtown has more in terms of capital improvement projects that it could make on the things in its collection than your average national park, I would think. But you know, I can only make assumptions. I'm kind of interested if there was a breakdown of national parks and what amount of funding they receive and what they use it on. I'm sure no small part of it is park rangers. For the larger parks and the more wilderness parks, especially. I wonder if the NPS could make money off of excursions to the national parks still connected to existing rail connections. Oh, that's actually an interesting thought. Um, the issue is, I mean, it would be difficult to have them in connection with Steamtown. If Steamtown, in a better world, Steamtown is sort of the base of operations for nationwide steam excursions, which would be great and is sort of what, you know, the idea is here. Uh, I would hope. I think it should move Steamtown to the Golden Spike. That would be very funny. Out in the freaking desert. Um, you want to make it. That's, you know, the issue with it being in Vermont was that it was remote. So let's take it and throw it in the Utah desert. That'd be a good idea. I know you're joking, TJ. They could do whatever they want. I mean, they could do whatever they want, I guess. It's not like I don't know. I don't know. Being serious, I don't know what the advantages or disadvantages would be. Of course, there's you know, no there's nothing around. Whether that's a plus or a minus, I guess depends which way you look at it. All right, now we need to fill this out. we're gonna have to clear out a lot of trees from this river because I just copied over a fairly dense patch. But yeah, steam excursions being synonymous with national parks in the U.S. would be very neat. Um, uh, and having Steamtown as sort of a mechanical base of operations because they might not have a lot of people, they might not have a lot of money, but they do have an incredible shop complex. They have tons of like machines of the highest order. Like they are a fully capable shop if only they had the manpower. Glacier Park was basically an adventure and still stopped. Well, yeah, that's something. I would love to have more steam excursions in national parks. It's just a question of logistics. When I'm president, I'm gonna pass a law that every national park has to have a steam train in it. That's the future that Joe Brandon wants. We tried to have a little train at the carousel. It just didn't work. We tried for a couple seasons to get ones that we could put in there, and I think they were all busts. They just did not work properly. Like like a park train sort of thing, but not like the. Oh shucks. Oh no, put that back. All right, let's clear out some trees. Do I have any cane elk hunt? Yeah, I do, just not really that I use because of Tolbrand restrictions. Like, I think I have some K&L stuff installed right now. I might even have the i1. But I don't ever really make use of it because if I put it down on the route and then forget about it, then I've broken the damn thing. Obviously, I can just go in and delete it and delete missing assets, but you know, the idea of Tolbrand is to be multiplayer compatible, and I'm talking the old school multiplayer where everything's got to be on the DLS. I know that these times are changing, and if ever I were to sort of let go of Tolbrand as a concept, or let go of one of the core concepts of Tolbrand, is it would be if you know things get to the point where everything I've tried to do on Tolbrand is basically obsolete. And this isn't me like trying to set myself up for being able to put this route to bed because that's not what I want to do. But with the things that are coming out, it is really interesting to see how Trainz is sort of long form tackling my gripes and the things that that led me to make Tolbrand what it is today. The living what did you say, what is it called, living railroad or something, uh that is a really interesting sort of thing which I should probably look at and go like, okay, is what I am building towards and working on like totally bogus now? Because if it is, then I probably should sit down and think about what I'm doing. Because to hang on to this absurd concept might be more trouble than it's worth. Because at the end of the day, there's a certain thing that I want out of this, and that's why I'm building this. If I can get, I don't mean to say if I can get what I want without having to build this, I'll take it. But if there is like a more rational or reasonable solution, oh, I missed a spot. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Missed it on purpose. Then what I am striving for that comes about in the future, then you know, then why am I doing things the hard way? You know, that's a question. That's like a sit down talk I've got to have with myself because at the end of the day, what I want is a big realistic route that's automated, um, and that I can sort of hop in and out of and do work in, or do like railroad work in, like Run 8 style work, I guess. Um, and otherwise just watch the trains go and do their thing. This is this is moving towards that end, because to this point there's been no other way to get towards that end. Should listen to KNL's rendition of 3713's whistle. Oh, you know what? That's funny. Back when we had an intro for this series, 3713 is in it. If you go back and watch old Under Constructions before I started streaming them, 3713 is in it. And I'm not sure if I blow the whistle. I might. But yeah. I don't know. It'd be, like I said, it'd be a conversation that I've got to have with myself if we're moving into an era where all the work that I've done on Tolbrin is just obsolete. I've only got limited hours in the day, and there's a certain thing that I want out of this. And I do like to root build because it lets me have, this series, etc. But if the most efficient course to get to the end goal is not continuing with Tolbrand as it is right now, again, that's a conversation I've got to have with myself. But I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're even close to there yet, as a matter of fact. The Living Railroad thing seems to be in its infancy, and nothing thus far has sort of indicated to me that building the route by hand is the wrong way to go. If something happens and I have, if something happens and I am suddenly allowed to use all sorts of other resources, or all sorts of other assets, third-party stuff, that sort of thing, that's a different kind of situation. What if 2018 had Steamtown? Yeah. I probably shouldn't have grabbed that forest, because that was thick forest. This is like Louisiana forest now. Oh, I need a drink. My throat is already getting sore, which does not bode well for the next hour and a half. Or more. I may have to... We started off late, we're gonna have to end early if I stop being able to talk. Gotta get like a spoonful of honey or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting future that we're looking at, and I'm not sure what all it's going to entail. I think we just have to wait and see if the sort of methodologies and best practices for doing what I've been trying to do for the last several years become so dramatically different that the work that I've done is unimportant. And I won't be mad if that happens. In fact, I'll kind of be glad because, it means that doing something like this has become more accessible. It means that it's become more reasonable. Um, I have my opinions on route building, and I'm never going to poo-poo somebody for doing something a different way. Because, I mean, it's your route. What do I care? And not everyone wants to sit down and work like this for X amount of time. I get that. I totally get that. So I don't want what I'm about to say to be misconstrued as poo-pooing different other route building techniques. But I would be really glad if more routes, or if route building like this becomes more accessible, because I feel like every route should be built like this. Because I feel like this, okay, it might not be the gold standard, because I do skimp in places. I don't go whole hog on all the details. I don't necessarily think through every system or every piece of history, And yeah, no route is going to be perfect like that. But I think the general idea of this route is what should be strived for, where every industry is functional. The industries are reasonably interconnected so that you're running stuff around the route. Um, they produce reasonable amounts. How to make a thumbnail? That's a really good question. I think you have to go to like no, not settings. It's got to be in like route settings or something. Yeah, okay. You go into edit route or edit session. Oops. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. But yeah, I think every route should be built like this. I think there should be some core principles that we are looking at or striving for when it comes to making a good functional route. And you don't have to make a good functional route. You can make a good scenic route that looks pretty and doesn't have active industries and stuff like that. You can make a route that's just a set piece. You can make a route that is um, you know that is just like you're doing one thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, because if that's what you want at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with your product, like, no one should be able to you know discredit that. It's a single player game for the most part. We're talking about stuff that we're making for ourselves. Yay. Um yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say about those kinds of routes. It's more about, I'm trying to say positive things about what the gold standard could be. Uh, you can make an action film. You can make a Pacific Rim and not worry about your character development. Uh, but if you're making a film that's going to go to the Oscars, I like how it has the two layers. Uh, yeah, sure. If you're making a film that's going to go to the Oscars, you're going to try to hit certain points. This is still warm.
Yeah, there's more. I added more wax.
Oh, you added more wax. We made this candle by melting down other candles.
It's called the monstrosity.
I like how I only put the one wick in it. I should have gone with two maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it melts. If we have extra,
I mixed the remainder because this one, it had a giant dip in it.
a big dip in the middle. Yeah, no, that seems to happen when it dries or
So
when it
I
cools.
so I took the rest of the red wax from the skull candle
Mm-hmm.
and I put the little pink piece from the strawberries and cream one and I threw it and I mixed it in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the little like the
Little
cup shaped thing. Yeah.
And that's why.
Two wicks or Juan Wick. Juan Wick.
Yeah.
Someone killed his what's dog in Spanish? Cane? What is it? Corito? Juan Wick. Uh, then yes. I'm giving cooking advice to the best cook in my life. What world am I living in? Okay, so we gotta finish this out here. Every time we finish a piece of track and ballast, I get happy because it means that we are like completing an area. Like I can basically check this off when we get to here, although we do still need to do up here. But this has consistently been the last thing I do, so that's why it feels that way. But yeah, I if I were to write a Trainz route building handbook, having a good industry system with reasonable amounts of production, with interconnected industries, with you know, good, properly functional industries and ones that make sense, that would be kind of high on the list. And that is something that you can completely go without on a good looking route if you're not there for it. It doesn't matter. Um, One of the other things though is uh, the size, the scale. You know, making cities too close together. If you don't want to run between cities, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. And I'm trying to put these disclaimers down because I don't want anyone to say that I made them feel bad for building a route in a certain way. I don't want to make anybody feel bad for building a route the way you want to build a route or the way you're capable of building a route. Frankly, this is this is a bunch of small, un uh, undetailed routes in a trench coat. The only thing that I have more than the average Trainz route builder is time spent here, or maybe you could say discipline. I don't know. To sit down here every Thursday and do this thing. But that's what you got to do if you want a big route. Uh, it's I don't necessarily think that I am going above and beyond with regards to scenery, and in fact, in some cases, I'm explicitly not. I just, I just have a lot of it, and I feel like you end up falling over backwards into, like, beautiful scenic vistas when you have more space between towns to make that happen. Because you end up needing to fill it with something, so it becomes a matter of necessity. And yeah, you could just have it be straight and flat, but why? You could do that, and there are prototypes for that, and there are routes like that that are following that prototype. And sometimes that can be great. I mean, a a shot like like this, or like let's go to some place without. Yeah, let's go over here. Do the I-1. Like this is not a bad shot at all. I mean, this is pretty in its own right, and you could spiff it up if you wanted to. You could add grass to the fields, or splines to the fields, and things like that. Um, and I still have to go back and put in some windbreaks. But the point is, going for a specific terrain setup is not what I'm getting at here. I I still feel like having those big empty fields falls under what I'm talking about. It still works, you know. You could have your scenic vista just be a large beach, and it would still work. It would still be very pretty. It would still be. My laptop got very. Yeah, you are also limited by your processing power. Trust me, I know that as well as anybody. Um, but yeah, if your big scenic vista is a mountain pass with a gorge in it, okay. If your big scenic vista is miles of farm fields, if it's miles of shoreline and ocean, those can all still be compelling and beautiful. They just don't tend to show up on routes where the towns are very, very close together. You don't get the chance to take them in because you're worried about the next location. And moreover, I mean, let's face it here. People get carried away with keeping their stuff, or people get caught up in building stops, and then if they, which leads to having to build a lot of towns. Which, even if you start to scratch the surface of what you need to build a, not even like a full scale town, but like a fully fleshed out town, you're going to lose time that you could spend building those spaces in between towns. You can have a route with two towns, and you're going to spend 90% of your scenery work on those towns, more than likely, no matter whether you have 1 mile between them or 25. Uh, I spent more time on Olive or even Adams than I did on large sections of mainline for the Gilson Eastern, for the VMR, and yeah, and building a large city, building a town that is to scale can also, get in the way of your processing power. Like it can max out the game, what you're able to do. But then again, so can a large forest. I'm not necessarily advocating for large routes, but I am trying to advocate for realistically proportioned routes. And sometimes you just can't do that, and I get it. And there's a prototype for everything. But again, if I was writing a handbook, these things would be in there. But you guys that have been around for a while, you already all know that you already all know what I'm on about, what I want in a route, what I like in a route. Some people probably remember the route reviews, which I mostly just don't do for lack of time. And not necessarily knowing a lot of people that are actively working on routes. I don't know. There's a lot of things that get in the way of that. It really is a lack of time thing. I don't want to dedicate the time to route reviews when I could be doing this. I don't know. I don't have much of an excuse, but I don't really need one. I don't need one. This is something I do on my own time. I'm trying to justify myself to myself, because I feel bad for not doing them. There's so much other stuff that always needs to be done. Is always going on. Where is the other spline for this? This is the little spline. Where's the like medium-sized one? Is this it? This might be it. This is it. Yeah, found it. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with not doing what I talk about. I'm gonna iterate that for the 20th time. Nothing wrong with it. Plenty of fantastic routes have come about that don't follow my doctrine. And people have their own. And people have their own goals, and people have their own pretty stuff as a result of it. But this is, this is what I like. And of course, to sort of follow up, it really only does make sense if you're trying to make a large route that has all these aspects of realism, which you don't need to do. Alright, let's get all this grass in. And we do need to start blocking out the farm fields, and I guess we'll get back to Pan Am next week, because I don't feel like doing Pan Am today. I need to make sure, and this used to be easier when I could also juggle doing AI work, which, like I said, now I'm not even sure if I should proceed, because the game might end up drastically changed in a way that does all that work for me. I still will need spreadsheets to keep track of what I'm producing and consuming, but it's going to substantially lower the amount of work that I would have to do if it does everything I think it does. I have no idea what it does, or I do not know for certain what all it does. And yeah, I don't know. Lots of thoughts pinging around in my head. And look at this look. I love the way this looks, even though the tracks are a little bit wonky over here. Just coming out between this little section here. We don't need to put any more signal bridges, which is a question that I just internally asked myself and answered externally. But it's sort of a nice, you come out of here and it opens up, even though it's opened up here and it is opening up, but this tree is sort of like a marker, as in, all right, now you can look around. Now you can really look around. and I would like to go zipping down this main line at some point, just as sort of a test for the way it looks. Unfortunately, I should probably upgrade my computer before I do that. Uh, I still have the parts here. I just want to do everything at once. I should probably stop waiting. I don't have any DDR4, so I can't upgrade Gloria's computer. I should probably just get mine out of the way and worry about the other stuff later. It's just sort of a question of taking down my computer for a couple, for a day or so to do it. Although I will say, I remember now why we will not have Royales again for at least another couple more weeks. Again, probably at least until February, because I will be doing this OpenTTD thing. So I can't do it in the immediate future, starting probably tomorrow or the next day, depending on what year it is. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, it was 2020 yesterday, and it's going about 10 years a day. So we should be starting on Monday? Maybe. Can it not handle sessions? It can't handle the AI, and it can't really handle me driving around at full speed. It can barely handle doing this. It can barely handle me working. I mean, if I go... And I have the render distance turned way down, but if I go here, I start struggling. And this isn't even all done. And the render distance is down, like I said. But, like, I'm struggling. I'm struggling around this town. It might not be super obvious on camera, but it's not good. It does a sort of rubber bandiness. Heh. 2020 yesterday, yeah. I mean, it does feel like it was 2020 yesterday, but that's not what I'm talking about. 10 years a day on the OpenTTD server. Which, next one is going to be interesting, but it's going to be mostly the same. I'm not going to be there to cause havoc, so it's mostly just going to be probably East and Bender fighting over the top spot, who knows, and Holman and Brian. We will see. Originally, this server, I was kind of tempted, like, I wanted to, or I thought about doing a cooperative thing with Tyler, but then I just got distracted with making Extreme because I was like, this game is too easy and boring me. I get bored of OpenTTD as soon as I hit the point where I have more money than I know what to do with, unless I have, like, explicit other goals that I have to chase down, which is what we were talking about sort of at the beginning of this. The moment I am not bankrupt, I consider that an achievement. Well, I'm very proud of you. I am also not bankrupt, but I haven't been in the game since 1900, so I don't know what that says. Okay. Thank you, baby. I think it's, once you cross into the modern era, it's like the only winning move is not to play. I don't know how I'm still alive, but I'm definitely not, like, there was a long period where I was not at the top of the leaderboard. I think last server sort of proved the point that I could stay at the top of the leaderboard if I cared. But, you said, good boy. But I don't. I didn't. I stopped. It got to the point where, in order to compete, I had to dedicate, like, every waking moment to OpenTTD. And I don't want to do that. I want to sort of force myself to not do that. And that ties into my troubles with OpenTTD as it stands, and the sort of discussion, but not really, that I was having with Hemlock in the OpenTTD channel yesterday. Which I sort of wish they were here to hear this. I also wish they were here because I am now thinking about my idea that I mentioned many weeks ago. But anyway, that's beside the point. If any of you is currently communicating with Hemlock, but don't just randomly ping them and be like, "Yo, Ellis wants to talk to you in under construction," because I don't. This is not a viable method of communication. It's just a thought that I was having. But to sum up the conversation and to sum up my thoughts about the adjustments I made to Extreme, I haven't done a reskin myself. I've had people do them for me. I've been very appreciative of that fact. I never learned to reskin myself because I have been too busy trying to do this instead. Anyway, point is, frankly, I'm not fussed with the reskins. I don't need them. They aren't a necessary part of Tolbrind or any other route that I've made. But other people like them. Other people have done them for me, and it does sort of complete the set. Matt, you're not just supposed to do, like, it's not just on you to do the reskins. You're just in charge of, like, if somebody is expressing, I would like to do the reskins, then you just, like, tell them which ones. And you vet stuff, which you've already done a lot of work for. Like, I'm not saying, don't take it as, like, oh, you're supposed to be doing this thing and you're not. It's just, like, no, you're not supposed to be the only guy reskinning things for Tolbrind, is my point here. You're head of the reskin project, but that doesn't mean you are reskin man TM. Alright, I need this texture. What the hell was I saying? Yeah, so the problem with OpenTTD is you get to the point where you make money faster than you can possibly spend it. And at that point, if you have two companies making money faster than they can possibly spend it, suddenly you have a situation where the only thing that sets them apart is how quickly they can build. And in a server that's up all the time, the only thing that sets them apart is how much free time they have to build. No, Matt, it's not pointless. It's a very good superhero, thank you. Your superpower is deciphering my spreadsheets. Anyway. Yeah, that's a problem. And that happens almost immediately. It happens, like, well before 1900. I think Bender and East and I were sparring for the top spot, like, well before 1900. Like, we're talking maybe 1870. And then, or maybe a little bit later than that. But it was 1900 where I sort of threw in the towel and went like, all right, yeah, I give up because I'm not going to try anymore because I just don't feel like dedicating all this, like, every iota of my free time to OpenTTD. Even though I still do that, just on my own and extreme, it was more of like, I am bored with this. I'm bored with this competition. What about 1800? What do you mean, what about 1800s? We run the game from 1850 to 2050, so that there's enough room in there for, the whole range of things. Although with inflation, by the time we get to, like, the late 1900s, you get to the point where things are just absurd and you're clinging on for dear life. Although I think it wasn't so bad because people were prepared for it this time around. Definitely people figured out how to not die. Because I don't think we've had very many bankruptcies this game, at least not yet. Although we didn't have very many last game either, so I don't know. Again, maybe I need to make things harder, but I think the issue is, instead of having the Conrail-esque, we are cutting down on services and dialing back on routes, and the PSR-esque, like, we need to consolidate things under... We need to be running as many trains with as few locomotives as possible. It just gets to the point where it's like, well, I'm losing money, but I'm not losing money faster than, like, I have money in the bank, so I think I'm going to be okay, and then people just ride it out. That seems to be the impression that I'm getting, except for the people that are, the couple of people that are, like, trying new things and doing planes, and et cetera, et cetera. If Leviathan pulled the Amtrak Acela Express, well, it probably would not be much of an express. Think. Yeah, so... Katie Farmer Simulator. So, yeah. It led me to, like, okay, well, I can't disrupt the endgame, because the endgame is, in and of itself, difficult enough. Like, if I were to make it harder in the end game. People that are starting out late, like really late, like, oh, I'm joining in because I want to do planes, will just be 100% screwed. I don't want to make it harder like that. But also, when you're joining later in the game, you have less time to accumulate the gazillions of dollars that will let you ride out the end game. Which, okay, so that is a problem that has solved itself in a sense. So that means I have to mess with the early game or the mid game. And I said this was going to be a succinct version. I'm just repeating it out like word for word. I have to mess with the early game and the mid game. Again, the point of this exercise, the ideal, the hope, is to make it so that it takes people longer to get to the point where they are making more money than they could possibly ever know what to do with. Basically, we're trying to keep Jeff Bezos from happening within the first 30 years of the OpenTTD server. So, to that end, I've got to mess with like the mid game or the early game because I want the people that show up early to not be able to just end up racking up bongo bucks that they can carry for the rest of the game. For the next 2 weeks, And I thought about a couple of things. One of those things was to increase the running cost of steam engines specifically. And honestly, that's still kind of on the table. I've thought about it. But I would have to look at what that would genuinely do. Me every time. Well, yeah, no, me every time. I'm too good at the game, because I can change the running cost of steam engines specifically. I can also change the running cost of boats specifically. Is it done already? Oh no, it's just. Oh, I thought this was just like extremely thick spaghetti. It's 2 pieces.
Done. I'm gonna wander.
Honestly, yeah, you can take it out now. Yeah, it's good. I don't want to be in the situation I have been in the previous OpenTTD servers. And honestly, I might go and mess with steam locomotive running cost for my test of Extreme just to see how it goes, But I don't know if that's I feel like that might be too much, I don't want people necessarily just going bankrupt in the Steam era constantly. And diesels are already a leg up when they come out. I don't. The goal isn't necessarily to force people to transition to diesel power early or as early as possible. But I don't know. That might be it because I've also carried. Apparently, I'm an incredibly profitable company still, and I haven't been in the game since 1900. I just have steam engines. Inflation is a real killer. Yeah, it is. And that's why whatever I do has to mess with early game and not the end game. But I'm realizing that there might be something to keeping like vehicles for. No, actually that doesn't make sense. I thought Graham had noticed something, but I think it might have just been sort of a confusion on the part of how inflation works, etc. Good night, Master Badger. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, no, I might mess with it. I might mess with boat running cost and locomotive running cost, or steam locomotive running cost specifically, because not only will it make the early game much more difficult to like rack up all the dinero. Oh, it might be too difficult. Which I will be conscious of. I think the changes I've made thus far are good, and I'm not sure if this additional change will be good. I'm not sold on it. But it will make electrifying early worth. So that's a thought. And Zappy Boy is good. We want to encourage that. Yep, yes, baby. At the 50s, 60s, I was thinking about it better to buy something new or keep the old thing, because running costs hypothetically accrue the same rate for old and new, yeah. Um, yeah, well, I think once something goes obsolete, I'm not sure if you're going to keep watching. Um, no, I'm going to finish this river when I come back, and then I might end up going to eat, but I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right. So yeah, I might mess with that. I don't think I'm gonna mess with it during my test of extreme unless it seems really promising. Because the thing that kept me from changing the Steam and ship running cost is that the may the rare always touch your shoulder. The thing that kept me from doing that is the a fortune cookie. Oh, thank you. Um, the Extreme Industry set, XIS. Not the one I'm using right now in my Extreme game, but the earlier version of the Extreme Industry set. Um, a lot of the commodities are pretty cheap ones, pretty non like what's the word? It's relatively like low impact, low revenue cargoes are a lot of the early tier cargoes, which I think is balanced and fine, but I can't change that for Axis, in which case all of the cargoes are pretty well up there. You can make a really good profit on even the like starter cargoes, the tier 1 cargoes. So when I was messing with Extreme for the first time and I thought about increasing the running cost of stuff, I was looking at those XIS cargoes and going, yeah, but I'm barely making money as is. If I double the running cost of these locomotives, what's going to happen to me? Like, I'm pretty damn good at the game, I feel like. I feel like I've proven that.
Try one of these meatballs.
Okay. That's a good meatball. And if I am struggling to get off the ground, either I have done something really right, or I've done something really wrong. So, that's something that I'm going to have to experiment with a little bit more. I've got a couple days to mess with it. Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't change the capital costs. So you know, when you mess with stuff, you're changing the capital costs and the recurring costs independently. It may just be that if you're setting up a, you know, I can that means I can increase the revenue from passengers and mail again if the, you know, if the cost of everything else is going up. Yeah, I might go mess with that after this. I finished up what I finished up. I'm starving. I'm sorry to cut this early, especially because I started late. Um, but I didn't get to eat lunch, so I'm gonna go eat. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a. I always say to myself that I'm gonna do like a bonus stream to get more work done. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think next week I'll go back to working on Pan Am. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm gonna go eat some spaghetti and meatballs. This is the Admiral.